Hello, folks. Welcome back to Casting Conflicts here. Tweakin', we are in our playoff season as we have now completed our bracket thanks to the Raka Rumble finishing up not too long ago. And overall, some great matches potentially lined up for us here. It's an exciting time. We're going to crown our winner after about 6 months of competition, Tweakin'. It just feels so surreal to be here.
It's been a long road. It's been tiring. We've seen a lot of games. We've seen a lot of, great plays. We've seen a lot of poor plays. But we finally made it. We finally have our 6 top competitors fighting it out, dueling it out to finally find our true Cards and Castles champion for Season 2.
Right, and to even get to the championship is going to be a long and grueling road. If you remember, folks, from the Raka Rumble, they were previously best-of-1 single elimination matches here, really down to the wire here in a life-or-death situation. This time, it's quite different, Tweaking, as we established towards the end of that episode. Now moving into the playoffs here, players will be involved in best-of-5 sets to determine who exactly will come out on top here. And we did talk about that a little bit and how it's going to be a little more grueling, but also a little more rewarding for players here, trying to avoid all the possible RNG elements, throwing off of one game. If you lose one, you have 2 more chances to bring yourself back up. Talk to me a little bit about that format here and your thoughts on it.
Yeah, so like I said in the last episode with the Raka Rumble, I love this setup with the 5 games compared to the 3. Gives our players a little bit more comfort and dealing with the RNG in some of these games. Just give our players and also our viewers a little bit more to view in gameplay and not necessarily just watch one player just dead draw the entire time. So I love it. I love that we increased the games. This is also, gonna be a little fatigue factor in some of our players and some of our opponents. Not very often are you gonna, go on Cards and Castles and play, 5 games in a row consecutively. So, we may see some of the players, come game 3, come game 4, come game 5, might start to get little mentally tired and start making those crucial mental errors. So we'll see, if that plays a factor in some of these games. Will our players have the mental capacity to, play at a high level for, long periods of times and make those crucial plays and, to think strategically for, 4 or 5 games long. So it'll be interesting.
Right, and to get things started here, we've got a great matchup lined up for you, as you could already tell by the title. We're starting off with Banana and Vesaven. Vesaven coming just short in our Raka Rumble here, ultimately losing the matchup to Jay here, so falling against the 3rd place ranker in our leaderboards here, that being Banana, who, he's done pretty well for the season here. I vaguely recall that he had some slip-ups very recently, hence why he's fallen into our number 3 slot here. But still playing very well throughout the season here. Dinosaurs at that, too. Kind of showing that these guys aren't really going anywhere just yet, that they still have some power, some kick behind them. And I'm really curious about how Vesa's strategy here of, being aggressive, being up in his face, is going to, handle for how's Banana going to handle that situation. His deck does require, some time to breathe in order to pop off things like Dinosaur Nest, which are very crucial to the deck's success. Will Vesa be able to shut those down or not allow Banana to play them at all here? That's going to be the real question of this matchup.
Right. Banana couldn't be paired up with a worse round 1 opponent than vesaven. Like you mentioned, Dino decks, it takes a little bit of time to get that Dino synergy roaming, and we just know how aggressive vesaven is in his play style. So it's going to be a challenge for Banana. I remember, if I'm not losing my brain at age of 24, that I said that Banana is going to have a little trouble this first round against vesaven, just because with the Dino decks, I'm not really a fan of it. A lot of the Dino deck synergy is a lot late game. You got, Dino Rider, the Nest, the T-Rex, the Mordok, all 5+ cards. And, your other smaller units, the Baby Dino and the Magmasaur aren't really too powerful enough to kind of survive on their own until the later matches. Um, so it's gonna be hard for Banana. Now, the good thing is that we increased the games by two, so maybe that takes a little bit. Maybe that takes some of the RNG weight off of Banana's back, and maybe he can find a couple of wins under his belt with these more matches. But I just think it's too risky. The Dino deck, it's too up and down. You either win in dominating fashion with just so many T-Rex and buff units, or you just draw all the wrong cards at all the wrong time, or you just don't get any ability to play the Dino Nest and you just get stomped on for the entire match. And vesaven, I know how aggressive he is. He, as soon as you see these baby dinosaurs hit the mat, whether it's a baby dino, whether it's a magmasaur, whether it's a dino rider, he is not going to let those things stay on if he has the chance to kill him. He's going to focus everything on the those dinos, and he's going to think, okay, castle, that will eventually go down because both the players don't have the ability to heal, and he knows how crucial dinos are
To the
in decks.
strategy. Yeah.
So if he just focused on the dinos and takes the castle, you know yeah, uh
Twinkie, you're starting to
priority
get a little choppy on my
number
end. So
one
how about
is
we
the dinos.
how about we
Killing the
get into
dinos, you
Oh god.
essentially
He's getting a little choppy here. So we're
remove three copies of Dino Nest from Nana and the answers. So I think vesaven is going to do game three.
Alright, well, you know what? You're getting a little choppy here, Tweaking, so let's go ahead and take the folks over to match number one
Of
here.
course.
Guys, match number one, Vesa v Banana, going on right now. And we're back, folks. Match number one, Tweaking. We're in playoffs. First matchup, the Banana Vesa round one. Oh, I'm excited. I am excited here. And Banana opening a pretty formidable hand to start off his game.
I know I talked a lot of shit on his Dino deck, so hopefully that doesn't come bite me in the ass. But it's looking pretty strong right here. I mean, we got some early plays, and we got the Dino Nest if Magmasaur is able to survive
Hmm.
long enough to play that.
Which, I mean, it
Oh, and
might.
then we got a little reassurance here with the Dino Rider. So we're looking pretty good here. If I'm Banana, I'm liking this hand. We got early Flamestorm. We got Fear. We even got the coin too that we still have. I'm liking this spot.
Ooh, Vase with the double Lumberjack, though. This is a lot of Flamestorm value if Banana wants to take it, although it would mean that his Dwarven Miner gets deleted as well here. Thinking he might go Magmasaur Fear here, or just maybe Magmasaur Pass?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit too early to play Flamestorm. I mean, nothing's really scary. I think you can get a little bit more value out of that. Maybe like you could maybe snipe an armory, weaken an armory or a blacksmith or something. I mean, you're not too worried about the two lumberjacks and the two rats.
Right.
I
And
think you can keep that in your back pocket for later.
yeah, so we'll see the Rat make the trade here with the Miner. Lumberjack, again, connecting to face here. Banana not going to really be too disappointed to take all this early damage, considering that he's got the Big Boy Arbiter somewhere lurking in the deck. Black
Hmm.
Reef Return is an interesting pull here, 'cause now you've got this Southport running up to your face, and Magmasaur not really strong enough on its own to deal with it. We'll push back the Lumberjack to create some nice Magmasaur
Ooh,
synergy there. You'll love to see
ooh,
it.
that is a heads up move right there because early on, without even thinking, I was gonna say fear back the Southport captain, but that was a top tier play right there.
That's why you're in the
That is what we
booth.
were expecting
That's
to
why we're in
play
the
in these
booth.
playoffs. This is why we're in the booth, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, that's going to be difficult for Vesa to really bounce back from having to resort to the early Dragon's Fire to remove the Magma Store. Leaving Banana a clear board here, going to set up the Dino Rider into the potential nest for turn 6 here. He's looking pretty strong. Meanwhile, Vesa continuing to build up some rats on the other side here. It would do him well to get these rats a little bit stronger, in my opinion, but now
Hmm.
Minotaur looking to meet the Rider here. This just spells Dino Nest all over it.
Right. Now, it would be unfortunate if uh Ves yeah, Vesaven has a murder. Yeah, we're probably gonna play a little bit defensive here. We're gonna play Tarius Vows, get some draws. Hopefully we can get something here. Magmasaur.
Ooh.
I wouldn't coin into it just in case. Uh
It's a weird call here to make here, especially since right now this Minotaur isn't also actively trade. I assume Minotaur might deliver the kill on Dino Rider. That's just Vase's play style here of being just control
Hmm.
and in your face. And yep, gonna go ahead and make that prediction call, and there it is. Minotaur deleting the Dino
For
Rider,
another
bringing up
one.
a second Minotaur here. That's gonna bode some trouble here for Banana, considering that Morlock is an option, but so is Magmus or Dino Nest. But that's kind of
Y-
like
Yeah,
there's some weird options here.
I think you need to do some damage control here. If you play Magnusor and Dino Nest, you're opening yourself up to a Dragon's Fire, and at that point, I think it's too late to do anything. You might be able to kill off one of the Minotaurs. I think you need either I think you need to play either a Mordock or a Dino Rider, and maybe a Magmasaur on top of it to hopefully keep the Dino alive. If you play the Dino Rider, we're gonna go. Hopefully, we get a Horseman that snipes off. Oh,
No, Banshee is the call here. So Banshee gonna have to go into one of them. Goes into the healthier one, which is smart, just in case we have maybe something
that's a
else for
great card.
the Minotaur. But yeah, reinforcement, a strong pickup, not only providing a little extra health, but the draw, which is also very, very important here. So very good pickup for Banana's Minor Spell. We'll coin to the Magmasaur as well, which is hopefully foretelling with Dino Nest in his next turn. But again, like you mentioned, leaving Magmasaur out does make it vulnerable to removal here. We'll see if Vesa has the option to do it. Looking like he does. Drain Life, big, big card. Oh, and the 8-4.
Oh,
The 8-4
oh,
Minotaur.
oh man, that's
Ah.
problematic. That is problematic. You would hope that was going on a rat, so we would have played just a Dragon's Fire here.
Oh, speaking of the
Uh,
rats.
yeah, we're gonna. I would assume we're gonna play Rat King. We're gonna heal up.
Probably Blacksmith as well, so we can make these rats a little more efficient in the trading process here. Yep, rather than
Hmm.
spending 4, we spend the 2 here, and we have a couple more bodies to work with. This is fine. This is fine as a recovery. We're not out of it yet, but man, we're definitely hurting after that Drain Life play here, because now we have to, at some point, find the room to play either a Morlock or Dino Rider, and then follow up with the Nest here. And what sucks is we don't have a turn 10 coin Rider Nest play, since we did use that coin for the Magmasaur, so even more painful is that play
Right.
here. Bolt moving to eliminate the Blacksmith here, taking away the globals from this rat. Second Hovel to kind of ramp up Vasa's rat production here. And this is, I mean, listen, Vasa, I couldn't ask for a better game one here. What are you tweaking? I couldn't ask for a better game out of Vasa for game one. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, he had basically all the answers for every early dino that Banana had, and that's usually how you defeat Dino Nest. I mean, you're just looking at the hand, you see how expensive dino cards are, and if you're able to, get rid of those early dinos, it takes a lot for your opponent to build up the dinos to the point where it's hard for you to handle. So Vase is doing it
Hmm.
extremely well right here. What do we think? It was a Dino
Oh.
Rider, just so it has a little bit more health than a Mordock.
Well, we might do
Uh,
some damage control here. I was gonna say, yeah, bolting the Dark Bender. It was more of a choice here between the Hovels and the Dark Bender, but Banana opting for a clean board here, deleting
right.
Vesaven's offense with a combination of Fire and Bolt, which I think the better move, considering Vase is now really starting to hurt on cards here, as you can see in his hand.
Hmm.
He's down to Banana's 5 next turn. Even more so now, he's continuing to kind of spill out resources here, and this is sort of where his deck really starts to crack a little bit here. If Banana can, survive the next few turns here, avoid any sort of lethal damage, he might recover just well here. Might even have the room to set up something like Dino Rider into Nest on a turn where Vase is struggling to recover. So that's where I believe we might go here, but then it has definitely some hurdles to go through before we get to that point here. Considering the Mordock for turn here, although debating Dino Rider now.
Yeah, it's either Mordock or Dino Armory Lumber.
Mm-hmm. Looks like that is the play here. We do get the Armory, we do get the Dino Rider. Can we follow it up with the Lumberjack? Yes, there he is. Look at him go. And
I would love
yeah.
to see Banana draw into an Arbiter sometime soon, just to get it level playing field back up, where his back isn't so against the wall, especially with sudden death looming in the background here.
Mm-hmm. Manfish going in for the rat trade again, fitting Vase's style. It does open him up to a Mordock though, which Banana is flashing in hand, so he might even forego a Nest next turn in favor of a Mordock trade potentially. He's pulling Horseman out for turn as well from the keeper, giving him a little more to do if he wants to. He does have 10 gold and a few more cards here. We need Mordock.
Ooh.
Oh,
I don't think you can play Mordock for your next turn. I think that'd be a little bit too risky in case vesaven somehow draws into a Dragon's Fire. Then you have no way of playing your Dino Nest. I think you
or
have your
his
nest.
his his notorious one of scope.
Right. There's an Arbiter.
Oh,
So
jeez. This
I
is
think
weird.
we need to play Dino Nest here. We have it. We can take out the Mordock and we can take out a lot of these rats. We're gonna draw into something. We're trying to draw into maybe a Dragon's Fire here.
Giving Vesa another card that was
Oh,
second
neither
Arbiter.
another Arbiter. Play.
I, he's set up for
Oh,
heals
he's
now.
okay. Yeah, okay. He's gonna Arbiter into the Mordock. Hopefully he doesn't get a Wraith. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Wow. That is the RNG I think Banana definitely wanted to see there. His Arbiter already going to be deleted, so why not just tank the Horseman damage?
Oh, this is gonna be a long match. This is gonna be a long game one, and I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
Jeez, I'm about to say, like, we're only in game one. These guys are in a best of five scenario here. It's going to be an interesting night for sure. We'll see Horseman come out now. All right, taking a 3 off a castle. Fine. And then the Banshee. So things that we already knew were in his hand thanks to the keeper from earlier. Now I believe Banana's probably going to set up the Mordock here. It's the only other play that I see in hand that's worth doing. Have a Fear. Could do the Fear, but that's going to... Actually, that'll push it down into the... Yeah, into Mordock range.
Hmm.
So we could definitely do that. The question is, do we take it? I think the blue firebolt got him looking for a second time.
I think he's trying to decide whether he wants to trade or if he wants to try to save it for a Dino Nest. But we're gonna go for the trade. We're gonna get another Banshee.
Okay,
Might get something
so
here. Let's see
Banshee,
what we get here. Armor,
Sacred
Sacred
Quest.
Quest. Yeah, not the best, but it
Would have
could have
liked
been
to
a lot worse.
see a Swift Judgment or something like that. Something to give maybe Morlock a little more health, because, I mean, at 3 health, it's very easy to remove. Yeah, and there's a Dagger Storm. There is the removal here. Following up with another Minotaur and Elvish Thief here. Yeah, this is bad for Banana. Things are starting to turn around fast here. We thought hopefully he would be able to recover with this Mordock and maybe a Nest setup, but vesaven leaving absolutely no room to do anything like that.
Yeah, this is getting problematic here. Um,
God, does he waste the Arbiter to remove? No, okay, he goes for the Bolt here. Bolt and then
right.
Tarius
Yeah.
block. Yep, this seems fine, but man, what can we really do here? I think we're just hoping for a solid draw at this point. The Arbiter can keep us going in
Yeah.
the game.
I would love to see a dragon. Oh, I would love to see a Dragon's Fire here and a cheap Dino, a T-Rex. Not
That's
cheap enough
not
to.
cheap enough.
Not cheap enough, even if it is a 5. We need 4 or less to play Dino Nest. And we need a Fear and a Dragon's Fire here.
There's a
Witch Bolt, not gonna do it.
Lumberjack
Lumberjack,
can dig. It can dig.
it can dig.
I mean, what better options do we have right now? T-Rex put in a weird position of if he fears back one target, a whole nother swarm will hit him from the side. It's a dual-pronged assault here, if you will. Even equipping the Sacred Quest for additional draw. All right, there's a
Okay, we
Fear.
got the Fear for the Griffin.
Yep,
All
there's the
right.
Griffin Fear. Yielding a Rat
Okay,
King.
a Rat King that can do something here. That can do some wonders.
That could, although I think Banana's more tempted to do minor Archive Rat King on top of that, which will just sort of expend all of his gold here. Another Nest, not what we want here. We need a cheap dino like another Magmasaur. If there is one left in the deck, that is.
Right, but we're able to stop this initial push. Now, unfortunately, the Rat King is still going to be alive, so we can't play Arbiters next turn.
That is if Vesa
Uh,
keeps it alive, though. That's another thing. We know his style is very sort of beat him up, take away your resources type deal, so he might trade with the Rat King, potentially. But again, I'm not sure. Not sure.
right. I don't know why you would, in the sense, because
Hmm.
you're not scared of any Mystic Journey, and also this is taking Banana out of Arbiter's range.
It has, which is concerning here. We'll see if Vesa is able to pick up on that and maybe leave the Rat King. Oh, he
Oh, I
nullifies.
knew the only way he was going to do it is because if he's going to take out the armory. But okay, good. You followed up with a Mordock. Yeah, I think this might potentially be game here.
Even
Uh,
if we arbiters, there's no strong arbiter target. There's the cheap dino. A little too late, to be
yeah, I
honest
think
with
it is
you.
right because we have no way of dealing with the Mordock. Now we can fear back the Griffin and kill off this rat, but then I think Vesaven's just gonna scope up the dwarf, the Mordock, or fear or burn off the T-Rex, and it's gonna be game here.
It might be good night, sweet prince. But we'll see. We'll see here. I mean, very crucial about what Banana will do in his next turn here. He could plop the T-Rex in the middle, as he's debating right now. It would push Griffin back. Does do that. He does have the baby in hand as well, but that baby, man, that's a component for the nest here. If you leave the rat alive, it's closer to your own death. He
Yeah,
does go
but you
with
need
the.
you need to take out the rat here. I think you need to take it out. I mean, you don't know how much damage you can do.
He'll keep it alive, although pushing the rat into range of just killing the baby anyway, which is
Hmm.
not ideal.
Because the game's over now. I mean, the game's over because you hit the castle with the rat, and then you hit Mordock, and you spawn a 3. That's 4 attack, sudden death, and then Banana's only choice to keep prolong the game is arbiters, and then you just hit him again with all 3 units. So the game is essentially over, I believe.
Pretty much. I think Vase is just maybe trying to figure out a way that he can close that without giving Banana another turn potentially.
Right.
Because right now, the way that you're illustrating this, he would survive by 1. We need some
By
kind
1,
of
yep.
global buff, but it doesn't seem like we have it. We're making the trade with the baby dino up top. The T-Rex becomes a little weaker because of this. There's the scope onto the Griffin. Okay, not the card I'd expect to get the scope, but here we are. Oh, because then Witch would. Yep,
Oh,
there it
yep.
is. And there it is. There's the
And
game.
there's the Dragon's Fire. A little bit too late, but an excellent game one, if I
Oh,
say so myself.
fantastic. Lots of
Way to
back and
set off the
forth.
tone for the entire playoff series. If all the games are like that, we're in for a treat.
Of course, certainly. But with that being said here, we do have a game number 2 to get to here. Vesa taking the first win here. Will he be able to continue that momentum into game number 2? Let's go ahead and find out. But first, take a look at the post-match. All right, folks, and back after match number 1. And Tweakin, I think you hit the nail right on the head in the pre-match stuff while we were talking about this exact game here. One of the longer bouts that we've seen so far out of the postseason, clocking in at around 15 minutes or so. But what a intense back and forth that matchup was here. So many things to comment on throughout the matchup here. How can we even begin to nail down what was probably the most important interaction of that match?
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for a better, game one to set the tone for the series and the playoffs. I mean, that was just hats off to both competitors. Just to have that long of a match with absolutely, limited healing for both players, it's remarkable to say the least. Um, I'm still in shock, actually.
But I mean, we can't really take away from either player here, despite Banana losing. I think again, great matchup here. But Vesa did a really good job pinpointing those dinosaurs, like we said in the before the matchup even started. Gunning for
Right.
most of the big boys when they came out here, like the Rider, like the Magmasaur. Keeping Banana off the Dino Nest was very, very crucial. And we saw he had a lot of that Dino Nest sitting in his hand throughout most of the game. He could not find a prime opportunity to, I think, ever get it down. And that really hurt him when he was throwing out dinosaur after dinosaur to try and block for whatever vesaven threw at him, whether it was the witches, the rat swarm from Double Hovel, the griffin towards the end. So many big
Hmm.
things coming at Banana, and he just was not able to properly defend. Thanks again to, I can't play the nest. And like we said, the strategy just crumbles once you have no nest.
Right, and that's kind of what we were talking about, in the pre-match. It's just how crucial it is for Dino players to kind of, not be on the back foot when playing Dinos. You see how hard it is to, once they're kind of on the defense, how hard it is to kind of regain
Mm-hmm.
that control once it's lost. I mean, even with the light, essentially at that point in the match, that's your entire turn. It's much. It's going to do much initial aggression that you lost. So that's why I kind of stay away from Dino Nest because it's just a 50-50. If you lose that initial aggression and that initial push, it's very hard for you to come back in the late game just because it takes so long for your
Right.
dinos to get to the ability that they can be. And we saw it here. We saw how, how crucial it was for vesaven to keep that aggression on, to keep that pressure on, and we just saw how, Banana struggled towards the later matches or
Exactly.
through the later match.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself here. And with that being said, we'll have to see how Banana rebounds. Of course, he does get the counter pick against Vasa's strategy. Hoping the dinosaurs aren't the choice for game number 2. But we'll see how that works out, folks. Match number 2 coming at you right now. All right, in game number 2 underway, Tweaking. Looks like we're running back the matchup here. Banana not switching off of dinos. And I'm not honestly surprised by this. I think the format that we've got here, the best of 5, allows you to kind of run back the same deck. And if you want
Hmm.
to, for that final game, you then have potentially a counter pick option. So it looks like Banana's taking the approach of, hey, I think that was a close game. I think I could easily run that back again. And so here we are. Although,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
not.
it was a close game. It was a close game. We had a great early game. Mid game was kind of questionable, and then unfortunately late game we just didn't see the cards that we needed. I think if Banana was able to, play that Dino Nest, it could have been a little bit different. And the funny thing is we had that Dino Nest early on in
The
the game and
entire
we just
game,
held
yeah.
and we just held on to it as long as possible.
Well,
Interesting to see a
I was
sunflower in
about
this
to
deck.
say, I think we may have actually switched off of dinos, as I might have preemptively said it. Yeah, there's a general, so we might be running a
Okay.
last will instead. We might have just switched. Well, we might have kept the colors, but switched up the deck type here. All right.
Yeah, because we're seeing Headless Horseman right there. I didn't see that last name. So, I think Banana said, all right, I watched Tweakin. I listened to him. We're retiring the dinos and we're playing some more stable decks.
Well, they're coming back
I
out if he wins this next game, right? Like that's just the way this format works.
well, yeah, well,
I mean, not
there we go.
retiring
Some
himself.
some cheap heal, some cheap heal. All right, no, we got some momentum here. We got some good cards. We got the coins too.
This is
We
definitely
got
a stronger
Dragonfire.
start, I think, than what we saw out of Banana in the first game. Daggerstorm hitting the board. Okay, 2 landing on the Horseman is not ideal, but I mean we'll work with it. Important that we get this Rat Hobble down, I would say, for Vesa, because I
Right.
think right now we know Banana can't actually deal with it. So pretty big that he's getting this out now. Although Banana gonna rush a general in response, trying to get as much value out of this Sunflower before it dies as he can.
I mean, you love to see a dagger storm play on a headless horseman and a sunflower,
Ooh.
and also to trade into a minotaur
Yep,
like that.
that's certainly something here. We probably don't have to move into Sunflower right away, considering the Sunflower is a little too far for the explosion to really hurt us. Lumber for turn, not the best. I mean, I might as well play it, I think, right? Yep, there he is. And then, okay, yep, simple pass. Nothing else really worth doing here from Banana, but should make sense here. You don't want to waste these Dragon Fires or the Rat King, really, so
Right.
this is fine.
Yeah, I think with our hand we're kind of just stalling to hopefully get a good value Mordock depending on what we draw next. Oh, a minotaur just rushing down Broadway here. That's never a good sign. We need something here. Flamestorm. Not gonna,
That's
just a little bit too early. I mean,
Yeah, we're just
a
off.
Banshee.
Nah, he doesn't have
No,
enough
we still
gold.
can't do it. Yeah, we still can't do it. Now we can Banshee into something, and if worst comes to worst, we can either
We could wall up
choose
with the
the
Rat King
Flamestorm
as
or
well.
Rat King.
Yeah, I would take the wall up with the Rat King just to be a little more safer
Heal.
here.
Okay. Heal's good. Heal's good. You can play it on your castle or you can play it on your Mordock.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna wall up with the rats here, which is a nice little strategy.
I don't like that. I don't like the position of that last rat because now vesaven can completely ignore that Rat King if he so chooses.
Oh, right.
Because now the rat can trade with that bottom rat,
Oh, it doesn't
or
matter.
we can
There's a
just
three.
Dragon's Fire all together.
There's the Dragon's Fire here. Yep, like you said. Probably gonna see actually one potentially from Banana here as well. Because I mean we've got Manfish, the Minotaur's at 3.
Right.
It makes sense to follow up the Dragon's Fire. And going with the
I would
heal,
have kept
okay.
I would have kept that heal for a unit since we have Hands of the Saint in our hands. I
We also
think
have Sunflower that we just pulled, which we could have played there for turn as well.
right. I think that could have been used early later on in the game. I didn't think we were in the position where we actually needed to. I get it that, you have 2 coins, you want to get some heal so you're not, your back's not against a wall like last game.
Hmm.
Uh, but I don't know, we'll see. We'll see if that comes into an effect.
Yeah, well, there is the Mordok making an appearance there to meet the Serpent Witch. Shalahar Rider going to provide some backup as well. Vesa could potentially execute this, maybe. Scope the Witch, I'd like to see that combination. That'd be pretty funny to see.
That is
Uh,
a amazing combination if I do say myself.
I mean, here's hoping, man. Here's hoping we see it. I mean, we know Vasa's deck has a lot of one-offs and other cards that potentially throw you for a loop. You don't really know what is in his hand unless you
Hmm.
are watching his hand, which is always why it's fun to be on the other side of it. You never know what he's got up in that little grip of his that could really just swing the tide of the game, like we saw last time. I mean, Scope, Witch Bolt, ended the game.
Right.
Can we see it again here? We'll see. We'll see.
Now, depending on what vesaven does here, we could, if RNG is on our side, never mind. I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say. Because the more that got stunned.
Yeah,
No.
Murdoch did hit the stun,
Uh,
and the keeper
and onto
follow
a
up.
keeper here.
Yep, now we're just throwing out some beef in Banana's direction here, and he doesn't really have another
Yikes.
clear way of dealing with it. Fear is good. Can push back the Serpent Witch.
Yeah, we're gonna push that back to what we draw here. And Andrew,
That's kind of
okay.
spooky, yeah. With Salharad already on the board here, you can get a little bit of buff out of the Andrew now, and the Sunflower in hand additionally can help you.
Oh, and it goes on the rat hovel. So when we play Flamestorm, that thing is
Kaput.
to the graveyard.
Yep. Definitely like to see this. Banana's sort of rebounding here quite nicely, even though Vesa may not know it yet. There's a Drain Life on the Mordock. Alright, there he goes. See you later. 3-3 rat.
Oh, goes on a rat.
Not what we wanted to do. Unfortunate, but here we are. Oh my
Oh my gosh.
god.
Kill or be killed. Well, I couldn't have picked a better taunt to put on the sunflower than that right there for this.
Yeah, this
That is
is...
just unfortunate.
Yeah, oh, and the Banshee pull doesn't help either, because that's just more synergy for... Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. The
We
blue
had
firebolt.
we had a last resort here, but this is definitely not where we want to be. And more burn coming into the hand of Banana here. Not really what he needs to reestablish himself. It can help clear what Vesa might throw at him, but it doesn't help him get a presence on this board. It doesn't help him advance his winning position here. It just kind of keeps him in this limbo of, I'm going to burn your stuff as soon as it comes in. Like, feels a little weird here. We're going to shotgun the Hands of Saint now just to, I guess, get it out of our hand. I don't know, Twiggin. It feels like we're in an awkward position here.
We are. We definitely need to. But I mean, the good thing is we're close to sudden death, and all these units are. I mean, we'll take out the armory and take out majority of these units with Dragon's Fire,
I mean,
unless
we
we can
could Rambo the
somehow.
Horseman.
I think that's way too risky. I
Yeah.
think we just. I think we just take that. Oh, incinerate. Oh God.
That could be your game ender right there if we're not careful. But yeah, now we're probably going to even it up here. Serpent Witch landing another 2 on face to bring the score even. Another Witch to follow up here, plus an Elvish Thief. Not looking good for Banana. He's got to get some kind of rebound out here. He's hoping the Horseman is going to connect to the Thief, it looks like, as he is trying to show us.
Yeah, either the thief or yeah, you probably want the thief. You don't want it to hit on that 2/2. Oh my God. Well, I mean, if you double witch bolt,
I mean,
okay.
that's a Witch Ball removal from
Yeah,
everything. Yeah.
that is.
Although you give him, or you give Vesa a lot more cards in hand, which is dangerous, especially for a deck of, his nature. One that doesn't really do
Right.
well on draw and already getting a lot of extra resource into his hand here. He'll happily take that because it's just, more reasons to push things like Minnows, Keepers, Mordocks down your throat. Northland's Rangers.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I think I'd much rather deal with a 2-7, a 2-7 than a 7-8. We're gonna get a Rat King. We're gonna
Another
get a
hands.
heal.
Hands is good.
Just
I don't know if we
heal
want to.
into a Rat King.
Yeah. I. What else do we do? We
Yeah,
got to wall
and
up here. Wall up to
I would
defend.
I would attack with the Rat King, so I don't have to deal with the upkeep.
Oh no, we're not going to do that.
Nope.
Kind of giving them the same position in a way, except not really. I do think though Banana might have an advantage here when it comes to the sudden death
The stall.
race. Yeah, because Vase has got no form of heals in this deck whatsoever. He does have an incinerate, which boom, caster's call apparently. Witch bolt, okay, sure, we'll burn the rat too. Land 7 to face here, and a griffin for
Yeah,
follow
but
up.
the problem with Banana is just a lot of his units are just so weak, and they need and are basically and there's arbiters, and we can't even play the arbiters because of the Rat King.
Yep, there it
Oh,
is.
oh,
And I think our play has to be Banshee Rider here. It has to be. We got to remove the Ranger. It's delivering the most damage to our face.
oh, and that's beautiful. If that's beautiful, because now we can push back both those units, and we can play arbiters next turn.
Yeah.
And if it snipes the castle, this would be wonderful.
Nope. It's
Oh,
gonna hit the rat, but yeah, this is definitely I think where Banana wants to be. He now has room to set up an arbiters, which is very very big for him. Unless Vesa blocks here preemptively, which his style doesn't really see
no,
him arbiter blocking most of the
yeah,
time, unfortunately.
yeah. I don't think. Oh
Oh my
God.
god.
But that's
Oh.
fine. That's fine. I still think Banana can pull this one out.
Oh yeah, with the hands now.
Hands.
Yeah. Yeah. The question is, does he want to just play it safe with the Arbiter's Bop, or does he want to hands and then move into Arbiters? Because Arbiter is moving
But
into this
you
now.
don't kill anything if you play the hands. Like you play hands, and then what do you can only kill off the rat because the general only has 4 attack. Can't kill the
Right,
Kraken. Yeah.
right. I mean, I was assuming, like, because now you know Vase is probably going to go into overdrive, putting all the burns and buffs he can to avoid
Hmm.
anything. So, like, that's just why. Like, if you play hands, right, it's more or less, you lure Vase into a false sense of security here to maybe, uh, not expect the arbiters and to maybe not block properly. But I mean, it doesn't matter now since we now just played the
Oh
arbiters.
my God! When Banana clicked on the Kraken, I thought Vesaven played another Kraken right there. Oh, my
uh,
heart almost dropped.
well, Vase has utilized all of his. Oh, he's arbiter blocking.
He's
He
arbiter
is.
blocking, but that's fine because sudden death, we just heal
Yeah.
up and then it's over.
Oh.
Banana with a oh, and we draw another arbiters. Just damn, there was a lot of heals in this deck.
Yeah, I mean his last whale build is built on the hands arbiter to kind of outstall his opponent here, and it worked here very nicely. Very close though. If Vesa had any sort of global buff in hand here, he could have used everything on board to just take Banana out, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. Sudden death getting to the better of vesaven and giving Banana a game to win. Very nice, but we are moving back to dinosaurs for Banana here. So will Vesa bring out the same thing to run against Banana's dinosaurs again, or will we see something new? Only time will tell when we reach match number 3 here, but we have a post-match to look at, so let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. Oh, tweaking game number 2 here. It was so close for Vesa, but unfortunately the lack of globals just could not get the job done. Banana coming out strong with the last will variant that he had, packing in an incredible amount of heals. We saw a lot of hands, a lot of arbiters that game, doing again
Yeah. Oh my God.
incredible work to just outlive Vesa in sudden death. God, incredible stuff.
Yeah, man. When in doubt, heal the castle. I don't think we saw Banana, take the aggression the entire game, and he was just like, "All right, I'm just gonna constantly heal, and see what Vesaven does, and we'll just kill off all his units, and we'll just sit in the back and heal the entire time." Um,
And I think this was a good choice too by Banana here, because I mean, looking at the matchup, seeing Andrew here in Banana's deck, obviously with the Last Will, goes up surprisingly well against Vesa, because you look at Vesa's deck closer, you're seeing Manfish, you're seeing Grendel, you're seeing Eljack. There's a lot more
Hmm.
Last Will pieces in Vesa's deck too that actually further Banana's own big Andrew strategy. So
Right.
potentially a choice here that was made to just create bigger Andrews. I think the way that matchup went, obviously, I don't think Banana's strategy worked, but the deck still did. But I wonder if that was a deciding factor in bringing the Last Will deck on for this next game here, just being able to abuse Vase's Last Will to further his own strategy.
Yeah, and maybe, even did that to kind of, maybe stop the Vesaven being so aggressive that he normally is, knowing that now some of your units are going to benefit Banana once that Andrew hits the board. Maybe what will kind of, make Vesaven think twice about rushing them and, playing them a little bit more aggressive than he usually does. So this was a great counter pick. I love Banana switching it up here in game two, and the series is tied now. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, Banana sticks with this method of switching it up and not relying on the dinos, knowing that how game one went. I if he does, I think Banana could possibly pull out and win the series and move on to the next round.
It's gonna be hard though. It's gonna be hard to do that just because Banana is on the losing side of it. What I mean by that is I think Vase is gonna have a one-up on him in terms of being able to counter pick before him. I
Right.
mean, he gets the win now, but moving into game three, Banana's now forced to go back to Dinos here, whereas Vase has got the clean pick. And knowing Vesa, he might stick with the same thing if it worked in game one. So are we going to see that matchup again here, and now Banana having to take another game with Last Will? But again, I'm trying to get to the point where it's going to put Banana in a very losing situation, regardless if he plays Last Will or not, because again, he's on the crackback. He's having to struggle to get those wins, and if Vesa wins the next game here, that's going to put Vesa in the set point win area. If Vesa wins that next game, he'll just clean up the set. Banana couldn't even have the opportunity to play Last Will for that third time. So, well,
Right. I
we'll
mean,
see.
Banana definitely needs to find definitely. I mean, Banana definitely needs to win at least once with the Dinos, and I think he can. I
Mm-hmm.
think as high and low Dinos can get, I think he can at at least win one match with the Dinos. So there's only one way to tell, though.
Of
There's only one
course.
way to find out.
Of course, Twigan, and you already know here. Match number three, folks. We've got Banana running back with Dinos. Let's see if he can get the job done. Match number three right now. All right, folks. Game number three underway, and Banana, of course, running back the dinosaurs as per our little casting conflict rule set here. Vesa choosing the same colors. You think we're going to be seeing a repeat of game one, Tweakin?
We could very well be. I mean, both these games, game one and game two, basically came down to a wire. If I'm saving, I'm still feeling good about my deck. You lost the second game to sudden death and just to, unreal amount of heals. In the first game, you were pretty much dominant for the most part. So I'm still feeling pretty good about this deck. I don't need to change anything. I wouldn't change anything. I would just keep running it back until Banana tells me otherwise.
All right, interesting that we're making the Elvis Thief trade. We could have had a fear option there, but we decided to forego that for now, giving Vesa the one gold going into an armory. I'm assuming that's going to meet a bolt soon.
Hmm.
Whether it be Witch or Blue Fire, it will be up to Banana here. It will be the Witch Bolt, setting up for a Blacksmith, it looks like. Blacksmith going to not block here, allowing Lumberjack to move in for one. Which is fine. Again, I think we still have Arbiters in this deck. We don't have the hands like we used to, but I think Arbiter's still fairly good when it comes to that big heal.
Hmm.
And of course, the ramp to follow up with Southport Captain. I mean, so far, been a slower game, I think, than the last two, but I mean, that's fine. Going to a Dwarven Miner here. Looks like we're
Now we
gonna,
got to be careful.
you know,
Vasaven's gonna have 7 gold next turn, so we could very well have a Dragon's Fire here, and we just gave him a lot of value.
yes, we did. We don't have any Dino Nests pop off here, but I don't know. Well, it looks like we don't have
Nope.
the...
Mordock. Wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mordock.
That's fine. We could deal it with Blue Firebolt and Magnesaur. You're gonna be very upset if you're. Oh, I would not fear.
No, we did the fear.
I think that's a mistake. I think when you are just giving a Mordock on a silver platter like that to get rid of it. I mean, yeah, we can get rid of it with a
My
Dragon's
concern is
Fire
that
next
Vesa's
turn.
got scope potential or range potential in this deck. So allowing the fear, I thought you were going to be on the lines of, hey, Vesa can now, yeah, do this.
Yeah.
He could do this, which I think Banana realized that Magmar was actually in range. So, oh
Oh
my
my
god,
God. Oh my
oh
God.
dear.
I mean, Banana played himself right there. I think he was being a little bit too cute. I think he should have just Blue Firebolt and then sniped it with the Magmasaur. And now
Yeah,
we're kind of in trouble here.
I think we
We
might
could
be forced to
Dragon's
Dragon's
Fire.
Fire. Yeah, we're forced
Yeah.
to. We don't want to give Vesa more bodies to work with on the board here. We just need to kill him off and then reset as best we can. Although it is going to be difficult. Now we're running a Serpent Witch in. It has to meet a Dino Rider or T-Rex, which, you know, playing just that for turn doesn't really feel super impactful, especially running it into a Serpent Witch that'll, see it stunned.
That
Yeah,
was a bad positioning by vesaven because now we can play T-Rex and also fear back that Southport captain.
yeah, a little greedy with that, but here we are. Push the Lumberjack up, which I guess is okay. There's the Kraken.
Kraken.
I do like Kraken in this deck. I've been using Kraken in a similar variation recently of no interaction with Pirate Warlock. I feel like Kraken
Mhm.
almost pulls off the role that Arbiter does, except it's a now permanent body, which can get a little bit stronger than Arbiter. So I do like his inclusion here. There's the rider to meet said Kraken, although not going to interact with that.
Interesting to see what vesaven does here, whether to kill the unit or hit castle. I think the smarter play. I would hope that vesaven hits the unit here, knowing that Banana has arbiters, and you want to try to get rid of all said dinos. We're gonna fear it.
Nah, that means probably going to go in for some face damage here. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of good, though, because now you might force Banana to go ahead and take the Arbiter player, else, he's going to die. Not getting Banana enough room to Dino Nest here, which is very problematic. It does pick up the Flame Storm for turn, which is okay, but it won't be enough to really kill off things. It will get you trade with the Kraken, but still doesn't
No,
really
we'll be
feel
able to
good.
kill off everything because we can pair it up with a dragon's fire,
Yeah,
unless we
but
want
we don't
to.
want to do
Yeah,
that, apparently. We want to take the Dino Nest option.
little dino nest, and we're gonna take the kraken out, and yeah, just
Okay.
do some funny shenanigans here. Hopefully,
Fear,
the
Drain Life,
dino
Manfish.
don't say stuff like that.
Oh, I don't need to. There's another Kraken.
Oh God!
I told you, Kraken is an effective killer in this deck. It really is. It pulls off the same role as Arbiter. If you're not prepared to block for it, man, you're taking a good chunk to the face there. It's certainly deadly. So, and unfortunately, we did see that price pay here in this matchup. Beautiful work from Vesa in game number 3, and a pretty quick one. Pretty quick one compared to the last few matches.
Yeah. I mean, this is. Oh my gosh, are you seeing what I'm seeing right here?
I am. We'll talk about it though. We'll talk about it. We do have to get to a post match though, so let's go ahead and head to that right now, so that way we don't have to look at War Party. All right, folks, and unfortunately, match number 3 not going Banana's way. Tweaking. We tried to give him all the positive energy we could in the pre stuff before that, but unfortunately, it didn't work here. Vesa climbs out with another game win here, and a very rough one, I think, for Banana here. Not as back and forth as it was for game 1, but very very rough form in game 2 between the Mordock scope, well, not Mordock scope, the Mordock range from Phantom Strike towards the middle end, and then Banana on top of that,
Hmm.
just drawing multiple high-costing cards, Dragon's Fire, T-Rex, Dinosaur Rider, nearly back to back to back. It felt like he couldn't really get off the ground once once that Mordock's range connected and eliminated his Magmasaur.
Right, and and there was an opportunity in the match where Banana could have killed off that early Mordok,
Hmm.
but he decided against it. And I think that was an error. I think that was, a big mistake, and I think that might have been the turning point in the match. When your opponent gets out, an early unit, early high cost early unit like that, like a Mordok or outside of a Caraxes where you can't target it with spells. If you have the opportunity to kill off that unit, I think that it's a must. It's a must, especially when your opponent is running the likes of pirates where it has a chance to get scoped,
Hmm.
or your opponent is running ninjas where it has a chance to gain a movement buff. I think you need to focus all your power to eliminating that one unit, because they put so much effort, and usually if they're ramping into a big unit like that, they have some sort of answer for the next play in their next turn, which we saw was the Phantom Strike.
Hmm.
And Banana could have decided to kill it. I think either with a Witch Bolt or in a Blue Fire Bolt or two Blue Fire Bolts
I
or
think it was the blue
some sort of
fire, dragon's fire, some kind of bolt dragon's
yeah.
fire combination that he just didn't follow through on.
Yeah, I mean, the whatever it was, he had the opportunity to do it, and he decided against it, and it cost him. And then, like you said, him just getting Dino Nest after Dino Nest, and all these cards that essentially were useless and he couldn't play, uh, just reinforces my statement of why dinos are so hard to play with, just because the RNG factor, drawing into those cards where you can't play unless you have a dino on the field, and we just know how aggressive the vesaven is with targeting those dinos. It just makes the game so much harder than it needs to be, and it's just at the end of the day, it's just a bad matchup
Right.
against Banana, and hopefully he can win game 4, and we can game 2, but he can win
Four.
game
Yeah.
4 here
Yeah. I
and tie the series up and
that
hopefully do
that is the
something.
hope. That is the hope.
But I'm praying.
The
But we
thing
know what
is,
happens after game 5.
right.
He has to come right back to game 6 and
it,
win with dinos.
that's the thing though. That is certainly the tough challenge for him. And I mean, again, this is assuming we get past this next game here, match number 4, where Banana now has a counterpick option here, so he has to bring out Last Will. It's what worked in the past here.
Hmm.
I'm hoping he doesn't, lose sight of that and go to something else to try and counteract Vesa. But again, only time will tell here as we move into match number 4 here. So with that said, folks, match number 4, Vesa v Banana. Let's go ahead and jump right into it right now. All right, folks, and we are back. Game number 4 underway and tweaking. Our fears have been realized for this one. Banana running back the War Party combination to try and stop what Vase is doing here. How do you feel about this one? This is going to be interesting.
This is risky. This is risky because Banana needs to win these last 3 games to move
Last
on,
2.
and
What do you mean?
Vesaven.
Where this is game 4.
Oh, yeah, last two. I'm sorry. And Vesaven just needs to win this last one. And now we do have stuff like Cloak of Ice. We have I'm sure we have Frozen Pillars. So hopefully we can do all this. I think Vesaven already knows what he's coming up against. Seeing these colors, seeing the cultists, I can only imagine. And if he doesn't know, once this divine knowledge hits, um, he's gonna find out real soon. Um, Now the
Yikes.
question is, can Banana
Afford the divine.
survive?
Yeah, that's the
I don't.
question.
Yeah, can he survive? And we know how. Uh, I'm blanking here, but we know how. I can't even speak. I'm so
How?
I'm so nervous about this game. I'm so nervous about Banana, but we know how how aggressive Vesaven likes to play,
Ooh.
and yeah, it's not looking good. Now we do have a frozen pillar here. We have some stall. We need some units. We need something here.
Yeah, the bodies are going to be important to actually facilitate Cloak of Ice. We could put Pillar, but Pillar in the back, if there's only one unit there, it feels pretty empty. This is going to be dangerous here. I think Banana really needs to survive these initial turns well here. There goes the cultist, not cultist, the shaman. Now I can't speak, and we're gonna throw it back to Banana, who might have to. well, going for Divine here. He does pull the Warrior, thankfully, in the Lumberjack. So he will trade off with the Warrior, it looks like. But yeah, not
Now,
in a bit of a weird position.
right. Oh, you'll love to see a turn 6 pass
Oh
from
my
vesaven.
goodness.
You'll love to
Very
see that.
interesting. Oh, wow. You would think there's some kind of unit in there, but I guess not. Fearing back Lumberjack here is Vesa opening up his turn 7. We're going to see... come on, you need a body, though, to really start pushing. Okay, Captain, that's fine. Banana could
All
pillar this
right.
if he
I,
wants
I, I
to.
think vesaven finally knows what he's up against, and he's being a little bit more, defensive with his approach. He's not, he's not rushing down with the Southport captain. He's skipping turn 6. I think he wants to make sure that he has units in his hand for whenever War Party comes out. We're going to get Mordock out here, and this is great because we don't even have a cheap enough unit to freeze off the Mordock, and we can't even,
One mage is a good
and
pushback, but again, Vesa's scope stuff in here, or
yeah, it's
range
still
stuff
in still in
is...
range for scope. Now, we're here for Yenaroth next turn, and we have Dreymoth, which is great.
Oh, but there's the scope.
There's the scope and
And the
another
armory.
armory.
Yep, yes sir.
Yeesh.
Unfortunately, this isn't really going to be able to reach the Wind Mage, so Banana will be able to remove this Mordock, but there is still a lot on this board that has to be contended with. The 5/4 Banshee being able to just, chip away at the bottom there, not to mention the Southport Captain. It's going to get a little dangerous here, and we have to play Yenaroth next turn, right? Like, I don't think
Oh
there's...
yeah, and we're also in Kraken range, so the Wind Mage has to go one space down, one space forward, hit the Mordock, and the Yenaroth has to be one space in front of the
Castle.
Mordock.
Yeah.
Yeah, to block off any Kraken. A Kraken ends it, so we have to be conscious now about that. Uh, we can't just freely willy just start playing units wherever we like. We have to block.
Yeah, and but the range,
Oh,
you need to
completely forgot about
freeze.
the range. I completely forgot about the range too, and that might have just cost us the game.
Maybe.
Now we can't
Maybe.
flying books, cloak of ice, freezing pillar. That will do the same thing.
A very cheaper version of doing it, but again,
And it also blocks off from Kraken.
it does. It does. It does do what we need to do here, but I mean, my God, this is very, very close.
We need a war party. Next turn we need a war party, or we need some sort of heal. Well, maybe we have 2 more turns. We have a couple more
Oh,
turns.
there's the Witch Bolt. Do we have the Kraken? Oh, we
Oh my
do,
god.
and there it
Oh my
is.
god.
Uh, Man, that was brutal. The Mordock range. We forgot all about that, and it came back to bite us right in the ass.
Oh,
Oh my
all
goodness.
3 of us forgot about it.
I know. I know.
We were so confident. We were like, just hit the Mordock with the Wind Mage and then Yenaroth. And then all of a sudden I saw the Mordock animation attack. I was like, what the hell? And we're
Uh,
like, the scope?
my God. Yep. And there's the Kraken. Yep. That's what did you in, Banana.
Go ahead and disenchant all of them. Disenchant them all, Banana. You can do it.
With that being said, folks, it will mean that Vesa advances in our brackets here. A very nice showing for Banana, but Vesa able to pull out and with the win here. Very impressive. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get to the post-match, see how we can break down this match number 4, and take a look at our bracket here to close off this episode. Oh, no. Tweaking, I told him he had to stay on last duel, and what does he do? He goes, hey, let's play Blue-Yellow War Party. This was not what I wanted to see out of Banana. I think moving into the last game here, we know how effective the last Will variant was against Vase's deck, so I'm very surprised that he just forgone that. He forgone that. That's not a word.
Mm-hmm.
He basically tossed it aside, right, and was like, I'm going to rock the War Party and hope this stall was enough, which clearly it wasn't the case here. The draws were not, superb. And there was a very crucial mistake, I think, toward the end that really just sealed the deal here for Vesa. But overall, just a poor matchup for Banana.
Right. I'm mad. I'm mad. Uh, this could have been a worse pick for Banana to go up against vesaven to need that crucial win to push it to game 5 and to save his playoff life. Um, I mean, War Party, I could understand War Party is if you get to turn 10 and you get the War Party out. I don't think vesaven has the units to counteract that, but to survive to turn 10, and not only to survive to turn 10 but to have the war party, and not only have the war party but to have the units after that, it's too much, and it's asking too much against a player who is as aggressive as vesaven
Right.
is. um I get that, he was hoping that he could get some stall one. Not a single one. I don't even think we didn't see any freezing pillar. I'm not even sure if we saw any cloak of ice, and we have 3 copies of each.
I think
We
we
saw
have
one
one
made.
pillar. I think we do have
We had
one
one
pillar.
Miller. We had one pillar.
Towards the end,
Even
right?
so.
It was the last sort of stall tactic that Banana played after that misplay here, which we are referring to the Wind Mage connecting to Mordok here. I mean, even we forgot that the range would still work.
Oh yeah.
So Mordok slapping the Wind Mage for that additional unit, I think, was absolutely brutal. We tried to freezing pillar, but at that point, Vesa saw, he had the tunnel vision, went into the bolt, went into the Kraken, and it was just game over. So, regardless, I mean, we did have the stall, but I think we would have liked to see more of it throughout that game here to really try to bring ourselves closer to the war party to make sure, because I don't think Vesa's deck has a lot of clear answers for if, double Ragnar plus Draymond start running down the board. It's just not a very clear thing for him to remove, and I think if we were able to see that, we might be in a different situation talking about a game 5.
Right. So that's why I can understand the war party and what he was thinking, but I just feel like it was way too risky to play this early when your back is against the wall and your playoff life is on the line. Yeah. War party is it's game 6. I have a chance. It's been going back and forth, and I'm bringing out the war party. To bring out war party this early in the playoffs and this early in the match, I just feel like it's too risky. And Banana's been a risky player throughout this entire series, especially playing with dinos. So maybe I shouldn't be surprised that he decided to bring out war party. But I'm gonna talk a little bit about that wind mage play, because remember when I was talking about the fatigue factor,
right?
And playing all these matches consecutively. Maybe that was a factor, because we saw how in game 3, where with the the Mordok and not killing it off, and now we come here and we see the Wind Mage attacking the Scope Mordok and spawning a unit. Maybe that fatigue factor had an effect on Banana, and maybe he wasn't taking the time and thinking, and maybe he was just like, well, it's frozen, he doesn't have scope, he's frozen, I'll attack it, then I'll kill it with a blue firebolt, and everything is said and done. But then the unit spawned, and he's like, oh shit, well, now I basically screwed myself. So maybe I don't want to speak for Banana, but maybe the fatigue was a factor in this game towards the later part of the match, and making those mental errors when in the regular season, game 3, I mean, the series would have been over. Game 3, you wouldn't have to play this game 4, but now we're asking our players to essentially play 3 more matches after the prior 3.
I think
so. We're asking 2 more, at least. At least 2.
Math is hard.
Yeah, at least 2 with the potential of 3. But yeah, maybe that was so. But hats off to vesaven. He played great. I like his deck switch up now with this deck. This seems a little bit more like vesaven's place.
I mean, he might have been higher up actually if he.
Not much so of the Knights that he struggled with throughout the season.
I think yeah, that he might have been actually higher up on our leaderboards if he had taken this as his main deck, throughout the entirety of the season, rather than relying on the switch up here. But I mean, it is what it is. It is as long as he found success, as long as he's sort of bouncing back, which is great here. And overall, I'm very excited to see his next opponent here. And speaking of that, Tweakin, do you want to go ahead and take a look at how the brackets are going to shift now because of this matchup?
Oh yeah.
All right,
let's do it.
Let's go ahead and take a look at that, folks, before we close out this video. And with that being said, folks, we arrive back here at our brackets. Vesa moving on to take on oooje in our next matchup, in what's set to be a big match for Vesa, sort of a redemption-esque matchup. I think we saw that matchup in the regular season. Vesa obviously falling to oooje here, allowing oooje to again get that perfect season. So Vesa on the hunt for redemption here, although it's going to be a slightly tougher one than I think he would want it to, Tweakin, especially going up against a player of ooooje's caliber.
Right. Vesaven now is a force to be reckoned with. He struggled early in the first half of the season, then switched it up, and now has just been basically steamrolling everyone he's come across. And not only that, wins the Raka Rumble, beats Banana in the first round, and now is coming up against the top player of the season, which is oooje. And they did meet earlier in the season, and oooje came out as the victor. And me and you predicted that we will see oooje in the finals.
Mm-hmm. Well, semifinals.
Semifinals.
We're
in
not
semifinals.
there at the finals yet.
Right.
Here we do have quite a ways to go, but this will lead us into a finals here. So oooje,
Mm-hmm.
very, very close, taking that potential first step here against vesaven, in which again should be just a great matchup here. I'm excited to see how Vesa's new style, will compare to oooje's original. I don't see oooje changing up at all. Moving into the semifinals here, he's got a dominant strategy and he's going to follow it through. But I think when they first met, I think Vesa was still on that knight strategy in the red-yellow.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is going to be sort of the first time that the new Vesa plus oooje are meeting up. And so that is sure to be an exciting matchup, regardless of who comes out on top, I think.
Right. And I think we both predicted that oooje is going to advance in this matchup. However, I am going back on my word. I am jumping ship. I am pulling all my stock out of oooje, and I am buying vesaven stock. Everyone do the same. This is Dogecoin 2.0. We are going to the moon, and the rocket is named vesaven. We are full on invested in vesaven. Vesaven is going to come out as the victor against this matchup, and I'm going to be his #1 fan watching this matchup. Vesaven is going to pull it out. He's going to win this matchup through 3 matches to 2. Game 5 is going to be the closer, and he's going to win it. And he is going to send oooje with the perfect record out of the playoffs like the Patriots. No perfect season for oooje.
Right.
He is losing to vesaven. You heard it here first, folks. Go Team vesaven.
Interesting. All right. Well, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna make my predictions until we actually get to the matchup here, because I'm not the risky investor that you are apparently. But I mean, before we get into that matchup, we also have on the other side here Jay Allen on the next episode here in another round 1 matchup here. I don't want to give too much away here, because of course we do want to save a little bit for the pre-match discussion of that video here, Tweakin. But I mean, that one's set to be a good one too. I mean, Jay coming out on top of the Raka Rumble, earning his spot here up against Allen, who has begun to sort of crack a little bit here. I think Allen's a player who, while, had a great start to his season here, he made a deck switch up into the yellow-white, and started to kind of crack a little bit and falter here. Originally, like the former oooje, in sort of like, I think, the way I describe him now. And hopefully maybe that weakness hopefully that'll still be there. At least that's what I think Jay is hoping. So that way he can maybe sneak one away from one of the former powerhouses and advance further in this bracket.
Right. And, hopefully Allen has taken the time while the other players were, playing and battling in the Raka Rumble to, take some time and jump in the ladder and, experiment a little bit with his, his yellow-white deck, get a little bit more, experience with it and get a little bit more comfortable playing with it since he made that switch halfway through the season. But you know who I'm rocking with. I've already said it.
I know you.
And I'm rocking with JJ. He's using my favorite deck. I'm all for the Raka Rumble opponents. I hope they come and make it far. So I think JJ's gonna win. I can't say much for you, but I
know that's your.
Can't go back on my word.
I know
that's... At least for this one, I went back on my word with oooje. But I'm going with Jay.
Right. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna. Again, I want to say my predictions, but I don't know. I don't know. I think I might be on your side here too, because again, Allen's definitely faulted a little bit here, and I don't know how much ladder practice he's been doing in the downtime. So we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, with that being said, folks, if you guys did enjoy, be sure to like, share, comment, all that fun stuff as we get further on in our brackets here, looking to find our casting conflicts champion. And with that being said, folks, we'll see you here next time.